Look, when you realize how fake it all is, the football, the basketball, the Lady Gaga, the Justin Bieber, who gives you these carbon tax messages. They tell your kids they got to love Justin Bieber, and then Bieber says, hand in your guns, pass the Cybersecurity Act, and the police state's good, and then your children are turned into mindless vassals who now they look up to some twit instead of looking up to Thomas Jefferson or looking up to Nikola Tesla or looking up to Magellan. I mean, kids, Magellan's a lot cooler than Justin Bieber. He circumnavigated with one ship the entire planet. He was killed by wild natives before they got back to Portugal, and when they got back, there was only like 11 people alive of the 200 and something crew, and the entire ship was rotting down to the waterline. That's destiny. That's will. That's striving. That's being a trailblazer and explorer, going into space, mathematics, quantum mechanics, the secrets of the universe. It's all there. Life is fiery with its beauty, its incredible detail. Tuning into it. They want to shut in your mind talking about Justin Bieber. It's pure evil.
Hello, and welcome to American Dreamland. I'm Max Chavez.
And I'm Misty Stone.
Well, once again, we need to catch up on the immense amount of loss that we have experienced as of late. Nothing that quite deserves its own episode previously, but things we would be remiss if we did not mention. First and foremost, rest in peace, Major Ed Dames. You've finally went to the grand remote viewing location in the sky.
Rest in peace, King.
Yeah.
I mean, do we think he foresaw his death?
I don't think that's one of the things. I think you're just like, if you play D&D, I think you just have like super scrying powers. If you do remote viewing, you can't really see the future.
Maybe I forgot when we covered Ed Dames in our remote viewing episode, but I thought he said he could see the future and the past. But maybe you're blinded to your own future. I don't know.
That's true. As the Doctor has helpfully told us, there's one place a time traveler can never go, and that is to their own grave.
So maybe Mr. Dames couldn't see. Do you think, I haven't checked Coast to Coast lately, do you think we have a memorial for him?
I think they might have done a little acknowledgement, but I don't think there was a ton of Nori Ed Dames stuff. So I think it's entirely possible they just like replayed an interview and then just moved on.
Oh, remembering Major Ed Dames, April 2nd.
Well, okay.
They remembered him. They said he was a pioneer in human perception and a central figure in the field of technical remote viewing.
Mm-hmm. You know, if Ed Dames had actually had his way and been able to get his program running, we wouldn't have invaded Iraq, so...
Very true. You know, they said apparently he appeared on Coast to Coast more than 100 times.
That doesn't surprise me. I know it's sometimes hard for us because we can just go on these rants, but it's a lot to fill 5 hours every night.
Mm-hmm.
And back then you had to do it live. And, you know, who's going to wake up at like, I'm a man in my mid-40s. Why am I waking up at 2 a.m. to talk to a bunch of weird people? Not a lot of people have the constitution for that. Ed Dames did.
Well, and his company, I guess his most recent company, because I think we reviewed his many companies that he had. So many. The remoteviewingmatrix.com, Coast to Coast says, you know, the best way to honor his life is to begin your own journey into technical remote viewing by visiting his website, remoteviewingmatrix.com. So if you are interested, you want to honor Major Ed Dames, when you go, it's just a pop-up that says, with sadness, we announce the passing of Major Edward A. Dames. Click here to view his memorial page with a picture of him, and behind him is the Merrick's flag. And then if you exit out of the pop-up, it's just him again.
These are people who have no plan for what to do post Ed Dames.
Yeah. Oh, yep, he has the homepage is just him passing away. Oh, and it says sign up for the email list. So they will keep you up to date on information about Ed directly from his family. I don't know what other information we need about him other than the fact that, well, he's dead. So I don't know what new information you could get from him, unless we're going to start speaking to him from beyond the grave.
Okay, so you know the wall in Game of Thrones? You have the Night's Watch, and they don't talk about it a lot in the TV show, but if you've read the books, you know that the second largest castle of the Night's Watch is Shadow Tower, which is actually a fort beyond the wall. So he's gone from like, hi, I'm Lord Commander, to now I'm commander of the Shadow Tower. He's just like, I'm chilling in purgatory. What do you need? I got some news.
Yeah. And then I think his family will just update, maybe, because I would imagine he trained his family in his skill of remote viewing.
Yeah. It's what you do. How else would they bond?
And because remote viewing can be so tied to astral projection sometimes, maybe he does have the skill to talk from beyond the grave. Who knows? But, if you want to support Ed and his family, you can go to remoteviewingmatrix.com, sign up for their newsletter. You could buy, we talked about some of these things in our episode on remote viewing. You can buy Preparing for the Kill Shot, The Kill Shot, Exposing the Agenda. You can watch the video.
Everyone needs to expose the evils of the universe. And if you're interested in what Ed had, by all means.
You can buy the his Zoom recorded training course for $200. The level 1, of course, only level 1.
For $200, you're lucky you get even a level.
Yeah, that's a steal, guys. Level 2, also $200. So it looks like $200 each. Levels. Ooh, there's the bundle for $800 to sale.
I mean, gotta get that discount. Why piecemeal? That's why you join Costco.
Mm-hmm.
You know you're gonna use all of those psychic powers. But I feel also, since we're speaking of the internet, the other big thing I feel we should adopt and deal with is the fact that, it may not be dead in the traditional sense. It's kind of like what we hope is happening with Ed Dames. The body may be dead, but the spirit is still alive. Folks, InfoWars has gone woke. We're coming 24 hours after the 420 day announcement that InfoWars is now something Tim Heidecker is going to work on. I'm
excited.
Yeah. I'm curious which Tim Heidecker is going to be leading InfoWars, the dumb woke comedian or the political prisoner who was unfairly prosecuted for the Sun City 20.
And I'm seeing an image of him bald.
Yeah, are you up to date on cinema?
No, I don't think I am. The last thing I've seen Tim Heidecker in was when we saw him.
Yeah, InfoWars is woke. I don't know what Alex Jones is doing. All I know is I saw the Alex Jones broadcast, I think ostensibly meant to announce that the takeover had happened. And I know this is going to be really shocking, but he was not talking on mic. He was off mic, yelling at the host without a shirt on, and may not have been sober.
Are we surprised?
I guess it's just like that is the thing. If it's like, Alex, you really dropped the ball in some areas. Like, you could have just done like he could have owned the meme of like before and after of him shirtless. He gave away the game though when he had one too many pictures of him just drinking a handle of Jameson without a shirt on. Where we're like, oh, that's why he never has a shirt on, as opposed to just like, I guess it's body positivity or some thing I don't know. Like, no, you're just drunk.
Maybe it's a little bit of both. Drunk, body positivity.
I mean,
just expressing, having a good time.
I guess I'm just impressed by guys who are 10 years older than me who are just like ritualistically abusing alcohol every night and then can go on Fox and Friends and saying like, no, I'm doing my job as FBI director.
I think the trick is they don't stop drinking, really.
But I guess it's just, yeah.
You're in a perpetual state. You know, you don't have the time. You're never sober.
I mean, I don't know. I've woken up pretty fucked up, but I don't think I've ever woken up drunk. I've just been like, and you know, maybe it's me, but like stomach pains, like pounding heads, like, yeah, maybe a beer will help, but like I can't do hard alcohol after a night of binge drinking.
No, I mean, I could never do that. I don't know. I just think I know one person who was drinking. We've talked about this, Max, that I know drinking a handle of vodka a day. And you know, I'll never understand it. But I think the trick was it's an all-day thing.
I mean, this isn't the first disagreement you've had with your ex-roommate, Kash Patel, so, you know. It does not help that, first of all, if someone says, hey, I think you're drinking too much on the job, it probably doesn't help when there's been a lot of stories around lately of how everyone is just in your administration is just zooted off the gills. I mean, Kash Patel's not even the worst alcoholic in the Trump administration, who's head of a department.
No, I would even go as far to say he's probably like a baby alcoholic. Like he's not even know if he's the worst. Like,
have you seen that? Have you seen that video of him chugging the beer with the U.S. hockey team?
Yeah,
that's not. You can't do that if you're a baby alcoholic. That is.
I guess that was just very cringy all around for everybody.
Oh, it was cringe, but it wasn't a great chug, but it wasn't a unpracticed chug. It was just a messy one.
I just feel like he's in the big leagues, though. You know, I'm talking like we're in the leagues of people who we can't even tell. You know. They're so good. They're such functioning alcoholics.
No, you're making the classic mistake of you're thinking of like James Jesus Angleton and those types of alcoholics who actually were functioning alcoholics because they would just slowly drink hard liquor throughout the day to forget the evil that they were doing, and then just had a couple extra to wash off the night. Kash Patel is just having a margarita yard at lunch.
True, very true. And then, like, do you lump in like all the coke heads and all the like?
I mean,
because you know, I'm sure we're also doing coke. Like, we're all overlapping. Like, what?
I will say it was always funny to me when they were like, we found coke in the White House. It was probably Hunter Biden. It's like, yeah.
No. boy
I
does crack.
honestly, oh yeah. First of all, he does crack. Second of all, I believe Hunter has too much reverence for his dad to do coke in the White House. I do not have that reverence for just an anonymous Democratic staffer who's just like, whatever.
First of all, Hunter Biden sticks with the proletariat and does crack. Okay?
I mean, yes.
He is an ally to the proletariat cause. But we can respect him for doing crack cocaine.
Yes, we can, because that is awesome.
Mhm.
Just in general. And speaking of dudes being awesome, one last update that I think can kind of transition to something I think we have to talk about is Afro Man has filed an appeal. He wants to get back at those cops. He wants his door fixed.
We just saw Afro Man. He passed through
That's
our
what I
area.
was, transitioning to. And listen, what do we love on this show, Misty?
We love a lot of things. I think we love revenge.
We love revenge. We love a petty bitch. And
Pettiness, revenge.
I'm not one to respect hustle culture. I respect Afro Man's hustle culture because he knows why people are going to see Afro Man in the year of our Lord 2026. And that is because I got high, Colt 45, a very fun guitar solo, and then just all of the Fuck the Police songs that he released during his trial. And folks, that's what an Afro Man concert in 2026 is.
Yes, and then at the end, him running off the stage, because I presume there was a curfew at the venue, and he definitely went on a lot later than he probably meant to.
The curfew was midnight. He left like an hour before.
Oh, well, I don't know why he ran off then.
Because he ran out of songs. Like, I know he's somewhat prolific, but he knows what purpose he serves, and that is just to get the community together for a good time. Because he had a lot of opening acts from the area that he's been on tour with, gave them a lot of time. How many people ended up taking a hit from that bong on stage?
I don't know. I was kind of, I was sitting there thinking, it was funny to me. What was funny was every time they had someone come up, more than the amount of people that went up, was that it wasn't a 21 plus show, which I was kind of surprised.
There was a child on an iPad with like noise canceling headphones.
There was children, and then our one friend and I walked past this group of teenagers. There was, we'll go back to the beginning. There was old-timey scalpers in the parking lot. I was like, whoa, I just went back in time, because I haven't seen...
Yeah.
Nature is healing. I haven't seen parking lot scalpers in years. I was like, whoa, parking lot scalpers. And this poor man, I can't believe I'm saying poor man about a scalper. He was surrounded by these 6 teenage boys trying to get a ticket from Afro Man. We paid, I think, $38 for these tickets. These boys are like, I want the ticket. I want the ticket. I want the ticket. And he's like, I don't have enough for all of you. I don't have enough. And he was like, they're $80. They're $80. And they're all like just accosting this man. So that was something to behold. And so there's a bunch of people in the parking lot buying scalp tickets for double the price that we paid for, which is interesting. I had fun. I don't think I would have paid $80 for the show.
Yeah, it was. So a couple things. Just, I'll admit that. So I'll just say this. I was joking the entire time of how funny it would be if he played Randy Walters as a son of a bitch. Because, like, why would he? He closed the show with that, which was like, what the fuck?
And then ran off the stage while the backtrack was still playing.
Yeah, so this is why, again, the one aspect of hustle culture I respect is there was not a backing band or even a DJ per se during his set. They were just playing backing tracks.
And then back to the bong rips on stage. What was funny about that to me was they would have to go, who's 21? Who's 21? Everyone hold your hand up if you're 21, because we had wristbands. Let me see your wristband. Because they had to check. Because it wasn't a 21 and up show. There was kids, I think I saw as young as like 6, running around. It reeked of weed, because of course it would. Of course it does. And we're also doing huge bong rips on stage. So, I mean,
I think
I had
our
no
party
problem.
Oh yeah, our party
necessarily.
was very easily the least stoned people there, and that's just because it was a combination of like annoying afternoon and bad practice of us running out of weed beforehand. We were still drinking. Like, this was not like we're sober and polite. Like, no, we were like, we cracked open beers like as soon as we got into the venue. So there was that. I cannot get over the fact that he had 2 women in matching outfits
Mm-hmm.
that looked similar, but not
They did.
that identical. Like, they both had long hair with
They
similar
were like
haircuts.
2 skinny blonde women.
But here's the thing. It was dirty blonde and blonde. Like, it wasn't like same type of blonde, which is whatever. But it's weird when you're going for symmetry, which their outfits indicated. But what was really funny is they weren't dancers per se. They were part of the crew. Or, okay, one of them was part of the crew because she had a camera and was filming the entire show, which is like, got it. That is a thing people do. Totally understand. I don't know what the other woman was doing at all.
Did one of them have an instrument?
No.
I thought one. Oh.
No, the guitar tech, who also might have been the camera woman. I wasn't paying that much attention at the time, but the guitar tech was female.
Okay.
So I think you're thinking about the woman who set up the guitar on stage.
Okay. Yeah, and probably confusing. Yeah, I also enjoyed Afro Man every time singing his songs, picking up people's phones and taking photos.
Oh,
he was. Whose phone's this?
Yeah. He was very kind to everyone. He's just like, whatever. I know why you're here. I'm Afro Man. Keeping up the theme, I was wondering what elaborate marijuana outfit he was going to wear. He's sticking to the classics. He wore an American flag. The American flag suit he wore, imagine an outfit you would wear to the beach. All right. It's the same pattern of just like the flags with like the like kind of linen button up and shorts. It's great.
Yeah, he was selling, well, I guess the venue was selling. I don't know if he coordinates this at any venue, if this was the coordination or the venue did this, but they were selling full or just slices. You could either buy the whole lemon pound cake or just a slice of lemon pound cake,
which was great.
Yeah,
and they sold out really quick. We were like, oh, we should get some later. And then when I went to get a second beer, which was like still during the opening act, like I saw them sell the last of the lemon pound cake like in front of me.
Yeah, people were walking around with just their whole ass lemon pound cake.
Mm-hmm. It was
quite. I don't think we got to discuss this, Max, on the first episode, but there was some controversy after people were excited. Everyone all around was excited for Afro Man's court win. But then came controversy. Controversy that he may have potentially supported Trump.
Which, would you like to know what his response is?
I think I saw his response.
Yeah.
It was... I don't think in the video he necessarily, he did deny he voted for Trump, obviously, in the last election because he ran.
That's right, he voted for Afro Man, which I do miss, like, legitimately just insane third-party candidates for president. We don't really talk about them anymore because of how tight the margins are, and also how, the last couple times, or at least at their most prominent, the Libertarians just put like normie ass Gary Johnson as their nominee. So that definitely undersold it, as opposed to just like, all right, who's it gonna win? Who's gonna win the nomination? The gay anarchist or the neo-Confederate? Like, we don't really have those debates in the Libertarian Party anymore, so it's a lot less fun.
Yeah, but I think he is a part of the he ran for the under a libertarian, right? Or
I mean, he should
was
just.
at a
He was in the
libertarian convention, right?
I mean,
something?
that's listen. They'll let
Or
it
am I
go.
making that up? Maybe I need to double check this.
I think he should just straight up join the Libertarian Party and be like, "Sup, I'm Afro man. Let's have fun." Like,
Yeah.
the crazies should just go back to the Libertarian Party. The problem is, it's like you had so many of the, like, you know, I was talking about it last episode, like the American Maoist of just like they all just basically are Republicans or Republican voting independents. And then when they have a problem, they're like, I'm going to start a weird political party, as opposed to just like, nah, just like flood into the Libertarian Party and just like be whatever. Back in the day, they'd accept anyone who hadn't committed a particularly heinous crime.
Right. And I double checked. He did in 2024 perform and spoke at the 2024 Libertarian National Convention. And I guess some news, he just released a video on becoming a 2028 Libertarian presidential nominee.
Oh my God. Okay. Why? We should talk about this because it is somewhat related to like this catch up. Is why am I touching the lathe of heaven on the stupidest things ever? How dumb would it be if we got an American Pope, especially this asshole from Chicago? Afro man should just be a formal libertarian and hang out with them. Oh, he just announced like 3 days after we saw him, and I said that. Wasn't it also like 3 days after I said, how dumb would it be if the Chicago guy Pope, that he was elected Pope?
Yes. Well, here he is. You've gotten your wish. He's here. He is one of the nominees. And so I think this explains the very, probably the venue we saw him at, but the very interesting...
By the way, we went to the psychic fair.
Yeah. Yes. The very interesting... I don't think I've ever seen quite a crowd as I have. There was like alternative punky people, but also people in American flags, hippies.
Yeah,
like
we saw a guy in a
hippies.
Kill Your Local Pedophile shirt, so
Yeah.
Traditional MAGA.
Yeah.
I think a good way to explain it is, it's the grass. I think just in general, mountainy areas, you're going to get a little bit more of like eccentric anti-authoritarians. Because, you had the Trump people, but you also, listen, when I said white ladies and dreads last year at the psychic fair, like part of that was also because there are a lot of white ladies with dreads in that area. But I think just in the mountains, you have like weird anti-authoritarian people. You have like moonshiners in Appalachia.
Mm-hmm.
You have the weird mix of people at our Afro Man show. For those of you familiar with Humboldt County, specifically the town, like Humboldt County, one of the strongest concentration of state of Jefferson people, number one. And then number two is it is a place where I've just been at a park and a stranger has offered me hallucinogenics. It's also a place where I took the wrong exit and got on a different state highway and saw a house with a Confederate flag on it. So mountains are weird, and I love them for that.
Yeah. Maybe not the Confederate flag.
Misty, I have a question for you as a resident of Cleveland. A native, if you will.
Yep. A native of Cleveland.
Is it possible that sometimes when you're just hanging out, going into your hotel room, you wake up, no real indication of how you got there, having a really crazy, vivid dream, and you realize your sperm's been stolen.
Well, Max, as you know, strange things happen in Ohio,
Mm-hmm.
especially the Cleveland area.
Yeah.
Mysteries are afoot there. So,
But Misty, I need to know, and I think our audience deserves to know, have you ever gone out for a night of drinking, woken up, and realized your sperm had been stolen?
well, I've personally never had my sperm stolen. I'm not an owner of sperm or produce sperm. So that could be the limiting factor here. I can say on the nights I have been drunk in Ohio, in Cleveland, that I've only encountered strange creatures. The cryptids, not extraterrestrials, which I guess.
Well, hold on. Bigfoot, obviously a cryptid.
A cryptid, and if. Now, can Bigfoot also be an extraterrestrial? That's the big question.
Extraterrestrial is just a life form outside of.
True. What I encountered that one night that I described the last episode, or recent episode, that was not Bigfoot. That was some creature like the chupacabra or something.
Mhm.
And that's the closest I've gotten. And it didn't try to steal my sperm. I did push my male friend out as sacrifice, though. And maybe that's where the instinct came from. Maybe something told me it wants the male.
Now, hold on. What was it Bigfoot? Because there is a correlation. We'd love to show you the actual Reddit post that we're talking about, but in another way of me saying something and then 3 days later, I had to, you can't see the video, but I had to like awkwardly look at my phone because you sent me that. And my first response after clicking on it was to immediately screenshot it because I knew it was going to be deleted.
And it was deleted. It was titled "Alien Stole My Sperm Last Weekend, a warning to all male residents of Cleveland."
Yeah, just wild. And this is exactly along the timeline of certain sightings that were occurring in Ohio. So this is, again, someone unfamiliar with the state is, where is Cleveland vis-a-vis some of these Bigfoot sightings we talked about a couple weeks ago?
It's about, I would say, depending where you are in Cleveland and depending where you are in the Bigfoot sightings, I would say it's probably about an hour, maybe 2 hours, depending from each area you're traveling from, give or take. So not super close, but we're also not super far.
I mean, enough time to pass where a wild creature could move up for some sperm jacking?
Yes, for sure. Some of the areas are definitely not super far. So depending on where he was staying in Cleveland, depending on where this Bigfoot was.
It's funny you mentioned that is, as you know, because Reddit is evil, there were a lot of, mocking comments. But I did find this very respectful question. Were you by the Cleveland Clinic by chance? And then there's another response of like, work took me there, and I definitely felt like something was watching me the whole time. I never blacked out, but I just got a weird feeling. So, has there been a series of sperm jack-ins in the Cleveland Clinic?
I've never felt uncomfortable when I've visited. I've had to visit family members at the Cleveland Clinic. I've personally never felt uncomfortable there. I've never felt like somebody was watching me, but again, I don't have sperm. I'm not the primary target. I did like the comment with Tim Mincy, and you wouldn't know him, Max, but he's a lawyer, and he in the Cleveland area, and he has
I think
billboards everywhere.
yeah, I think I've mentioned some of the colloquial legal figures prominent in LA where I grew up. My personal favorite from childhood was the Miles L. Berman Top Gun DUI attorney. Friends don't let friends plead guilty.
Yeah. So Tim Mincy's like ours, and I just like that somebody just replied with a photo of Tim's and just his tagline, "He made you pay," implying it was him who took the sperm.
I mean,
And maybe it was Tim Mincy. Maybe he's hid himself amongst us. Because he's a famous Cleveland injury lawyer, Tim Mincy.
I feel if there was sperm that left my body without my consent or knowledge, I would consider that an injury.
True.
I can't go to Miles L. Berman, Top Gun DUI attorney, because when I looked at the domestic violence section of his website, it was all about how him and his firm will defend you if you've been accused of domestic violence, which I know is theoretically important for the legal system, but I feel I don't want to like judge, and I know the legal system is complicated and unfair, and there's also the added thing of like how rare false accusations are. I just feel like if I'm legitimately falsely accused of domestic violence to the point where it's like a court trial, I feel like I can just go to a normal criminal defense attorney to defend me. I don't think I need a guy who specializes, especially when he promotes his DUI services. I feel I'm just like, I'm innocent. Hey, defense attorney, can you defend me? Yeah, that's my job. Seems pretty standard. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
My also favorite is the reference in the post to the Lido Lounge, which was infamous strip club, Max, in Cleveland. It was infamous for being the worst strip club in the area for decades. But a couple of years ago, you know what happened to the good old Lido Lounge?
Did it burn down?
It shut down.
Was it
And
COVID?
since then, I don't know, it shut them down finally, but maybe it was COVID. And so since then, Cleveland's been hurting because we don't have Lido anymore.
Have you? I have a question, and there's obviously a lot of things that could go along with this. I have been to a strip club exactly once in my life, and it was an incredibly awkward experience, and that wasn't the intention. I was just kind of drunk and dragged along. But I am curious because I don't know why. Long story long. So I didn't start smoking pot until my 30s regularly. So my first real 420 as someone who consumed marijuana was during COVID. It was still when I was like getting used to it. So I like ate half of a weed candy bar, and it's like, I don't feel shit. Well, I'm going to stop watching stoner shows. I'm going to keep watching The Wire. And I was watching season 2 of The Wire, which is the human trafficking is the major crime season. And I'm just watching this incredibly like dark and tragic show. And then I'm like, oh, I think I need to go to the bathroom. And then I was so high, I didn't know how to work my body. I only mentioned that because yesterday was 420 and I got really high and watched the David Simon miniseries "We Own the City" about the Baltimore Gun Trace Task Force. So I don't know. I guess I just like watching cop dramas in Baltimore really high on 420. I only mention that because like a huge part of like their corruption and wasting money is like how much they love going to strip clubs and stuff. So again, it's not just that I didn't really like have friends who were interested. Like, in LA and San Francisco, there's like other outlets for what horny people like to do and stuff. So
Right.
I also we have a thing of like in California, you can only be a topless bar. You can only serve alcohol if you're topless. If you're fully nude, you cannot sell alcohol on the premises. That's, I guess, a long way of asking, like, what's it like? Like, what's your strip club experience in Ohio like?
I did not go to a strip club in Ohio. My friend interviewed and when we were in college a bunch of strippers, and then they gave her. I'm pretty sure they said she won the prize, but I'm pretty sure they let her win the prize where we were supposed to go and have this all expense paid like dinner on the strip club with like private dances for all of us gals. And she chickened out. We never got to do it. And it was like a bunch of us. I think it would have been fun because it was like a group of like lesbian and bi girls. And we never got to do it. And that was my only opportunity. I mean, because I also didn't have friends that were really like, "Ooh, let's go to the strip club." Partially because the strip clubs were like in Cleveland, are like the Lido Lounge. But the one that my friend interviewed for a college paper was like one of the higher end. Actually, one of the higher end. I forget what it was called. It was like the Diamond Lounge or something. But the one near us were just like the one near us where in our area were not known for being great. Also, I knew some of the people that worked there and I support my girls and I support sex work as work. Sometimes I don't want to see my friends though. Like sometimes I have friends that mix their regular social media with their,
Yeah.
and then you're like, la la la, whoa. It's like good for you, girl, but I didn't want to see that today. So
I get it. Yeah.
I didn't get to experience really, and the most of the experience was going to burlesque shows.
Yeah, like I've been to
Yeah,
things,
it's
but they just weren't
things.
strip clubs and it was more performance based.
Yeah, never just a strip club or any of that.
Yeah. Well, episode idea.
We like the
Company.
Lido Lounge.
Oh, honestly, that is what we pitch. Here's what we do. We get enough known in the cryptid community where we get our discovery show and we're like, there's so many, like, there's only so much you can show doing Bigfoot. Let's dream of how we're going to pay for our research into Bigfoot. We reopen a famously terrible strip club in the Cleveland, Ohio area.
Cleveland subreddit. Support our podcast so we can reopen the Lido Lounge together.
Me and Misty will get into weird staged fights about Dodgers versus Guardians. We'll bond over basketball because LeBron's an important part of both the Cavaliers and the Lakers. And whenever it's time for celebrity, we're not going to do any highfalutin LA people. We're going to do local Cleveland celebrities.
Sure. Like
We're going to
Machine
do
Gun Kelly.
Detroiters for Cleveland, but it is a documentary instead of a sitcom or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's our reality show. But the pitch for pilot is we do company retreat to strip club and talk about the experience, a couple options I want to give you. We could go to, I was about to say the name of the strip club. We could go to one local strip club in our area that is on just a unincorporated area in the highway. It's number one.
Which is a
Two,
scary place.
yeah. Two, we could be somewhat like professional about it and like arrange interviews in like either Sacramento or San Francisco of high end places. Or you could join me one time I'm visiting home and we could go to a strip club I know nothing about except the name and it sounds real fun. It's called Jumbo's Clown Room. I don't know if it's still open, but that is a strip club in Los Angeles. So we could go to the Clown House.
I want to go to Jumbo's.
All right. Here's what we'll do, because I don't know if we'll be able to get liquor there, is we'll stop by, because I think they're both in North Hollywood. We'll stop by a famous Circus Liquor, which for the girlies out there, remember when Cher gets carjacked in Clueless? That's that liquor store. So we'll get some beverages there, and then we'll go to Jumbo's Clown Room.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we can bring our partners. Mine will be very uncomfortable.
Why?
They wouldn't even look at, when we were at the bridal show recently in our area, they wouldn't even look at this. I don't know if we talked about it on the pod, but there was one of the...
Hold on, tell me the story, but I'm putting in our notes potential cut. So if it doesn't go anywhere or it's too embarrassing, I can just remove it.
I don't think it's too embarrassing, but it might not go anywhere. There was a local, we were looking at photographers, and this photographer, she was straight out of the 2000s. Like, it was clear all her photos were like from the aughts, like spiked hair, frosted tips, like hadn't been updated. And she had some boudoir sets, and she let us look at the she would let us look at the books, and she obviously said, I can't have them out because there's kids running around. And I was like, oh, right. And so I was looking, and she's like, oh yeah, this girl, I can show her photos, because she was topless in some. I can show her photos because she's a stripper, so she doesn't give a shit. I was like, oh, cool. My partner's like looking everywhere, like up on the ceiling, everywhere but the boudoir photos. We were like, are you okay? Don't you want to look? And they were like, why would I want to look at that?
I think your partner is going to have a great time with my, going to sexy location with my oversexed girlfriend and me just leaning over to them the entire time going like, here's what my boner's like right now. I think would be great. I just noticed the time, and this I think says a lot more about me, but we have one more thing to talk about. Do we want to put, I'll say it because we're still in the potential cut area. I want to spend more time on this Eric Adams being Albanian thing, because I was looking up some stuff to talk about it, and then I just found out a whole bunch of stuff. Like, apparently there is a couple ways you can officially get Albanian citizenship. There's a normal way and a slightly shadier way. I guess there's three ways. There's the normal way, there's the I have connections way, and then there's a kind of shady way. Guess which way Eric Adams got his Albanian citizenship?
How did he get it?
I forget if by governmental decree. It might have been presidential decree. Yeah, normally you just have to it's like most countries, you just have to take some kind of like citizenship test and like prove you're fluent in the language. So that's the normal way. The expedited way is just like, hey, you're trying to learn and we get it. So for whatever reason here. And then a loophole in the law is like the president can just say, you're Albanian now.
And so I'm assuming that's how.
Of course. Do you think Eric Adams, with his mastery of English, uh, also has a mastery of Albanian? Yeah, okay. I had forgotten. Uh, I think you're right because I had forgotten the country, but I do know that his son is both a rapper and participated in the like pop idol version of a Balkan country. All right, we need to just put a pin in this and then talk about, there's always this bullshit argument when you talk about trans people. It's like, oh, if you can be a woman, why can't I be black? Which every conservatives have two jokes. Haha, you're trans, and why can't I, a white man, say the N word?
Mhm.
Which is really weird when a black guy makes that second joke of like, why can't I, as a white man, say the N word? It's like, why don't you tell a white guy he can say the N word? Or why don't you use the N word? I feel we need to look at the transracial issue and just figure out how Eric Adams ostensibly is just Brooklyn born and raised from a family of African Americans, and for some reason he has spent his entire adult life forging connections with the Turks, the Israelis, and the Albanians for some reason, and just really seems to connect. Like, he famously said that when he retires he's going to move to the Golan Heights, which is objectively
Okay.
insane, but
Yeah,
there's
that's
a lot
something.
there.
Okay.
So I think we need to spend some time into that. But also, I feel I've been updated. Candace Owens on her anti-Trump rat. I just wanted to look a little bit because I wanted her opinion. Do you know what she is complaining about with Trump right now?
What are we complaining about? What is Candace's complaint?
Well, who did Trump get into a fight with recently on
The
Twitter?
Pope.
The
Oh,
Pope,
not the Pope.
who's
Oh, yeah.
the Pope,
It was
which
on
also
Twitter, right?
the Pope, he's weak on crime, which is just, I hate to give it to him, but that is the Pope being weak on crime. Maybe this is a hot take.
I
The Pope being weak
hate
on
it when the
crime.
Pope's weak on crime.
The Pope is weak on crime. I think is up there with many French fries from back in the first term.
Hmm.
But and this just shows you how fake the whole so much of like the MAGA movement is. I don't know her background, so she could be a convert. I can't tell, but Catholic Owens isn't fucking around with Catholicism. She's like, yeah, I know it's a dumb dude from Chicago who's gay and woke, but he's the Pope. So, sir, if you insult this man, I will defend him with my life. He is the voice of God. She just like went straight up. It's like, what part of the just war theory applies to your invasion of Iran or whatever? So I don't know. People who are mad at us about our view of Candace Owens and stuff, fine. I will give it that she's doing what a deranged Catholic should do, which is defend the Vatican.
Yeah. You stick by the Pope, yeah.
Unlike those fake ass bitches like JD Van. Like I said, I don't know
True.
if she was
Mhm.
born into the church or she converted. I'll just say this. And yeah, it's a no true Scotsman fallacy. Fuck it, I don't care. Candace Owens, real ass Catholic. She
Yeah.
understands what it means to be part of the church, which is just to, the Catholic Church is a lot like the PSL, which is, listen, we can bitch and moan all we want behind the scenes. You do not put that shit in public. Like, of course I disagree with the Pope on gay and birth control, but I respect the institution. Like, she's going to bat, unlike that bitch ass JD Vance. Who's just like,
Exactly.
oh, I'm glad everyone, like, it's like I forget if it was like, it's the Pope. What do you expect? Like, yeah, we shouldn't kill babies. And I don't know, greed's bad. Like, what is the Pope supposed to say?
I think he was going to say.
It's also like, I get that there's power and influence, but it is like, you just say things like, I don't care what kind of, how deranged a Catholic you are. If you're like, say, a hyper deranged conservative Catholic who say like Prime Minister of Italy, and then like we have to do some like arrest because of how fucking corrupt the Vatican Bank is and how many finance laws. You don't go in and say like, well, the Vatican did it, so it's cool. It's godly financial crime. You go like, it's like, listen, I'm a proud Catholic, but law and order, that's important. Like, you have to maintain the thing. It's like, yeah, of course the Pope is going to say war is bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's the Pope. Like, that's just what he says.
It's the equivalent of like Trump getting into a fight with like a grandparent who has an ugly grandchild who just goes like, well, aren't you beautiful? It's like, that's an ugly baby. What are you talking about? It's like, what are they supposed to say?
Yeah.
Son,
right.
I know I did a great job with you. I don't know where you fucked up to make that ugly baby. Like, you don't say that if you're a normal person.
Right. Exactly.
All right. For American Dreamland, I'm Max Chavez.
And I'm Misty Stone.
Hey, come on down. Down on my hand. Original child clown out. I'm the original child clown out. Clown out, clown out, clown out. You know you're gonna love my clowns. I breed them myself. These clowns come from Donnie's. Why try some other man's seed? My seed's fresh. I keep my seed in tubes and plastic bags. Put in your wife, you get a clown in 9 months. The women I breed with are clean and have real clown traits. Look, I'm a clown breeder. It's in my blood, it's in my balls. Let's get something straight. It's not my fault. My son touched those clowns. He broke the golden rule. Never touch the clowns. Let the clowns touch you. Hey, not now. Donnie says no. He should have used the stick to him. I told him, did he listen? Hey, that's for a jury to decide. My other son, Mike, got shot in the face. So come to me, Donnie. Hey, for the last time, quiet. I'm gonna have to put him in cages they can't see through. Hey, this is Gabriel. Hey, I made him. He's fresh. Oh, not a good time right now. I'm gonna have to bury him in the back if he keeps acting like this. I'm the original child clown man. Right from the back. Great job.